Welcome back to As It Should Be. Paul Bertolino here in the world famous As It Should Be Studios.
Over there.
That guy.
Crystal
right there.
Durant in the world famous As It Should Be Studios.
Over
there.
here. Over here.
Tommy Von Voigt in the world famous As It Should Be Studios.
Where am I at?
Over there.
There we
Yeah,
go.
over there, over here, over there.
Everywhere.
And this week we're going to be discussing our favorite albums of 2023.
Oh,
Some of
That
us even have
mean
some.
That's the last of the year by year for albums.
Yes,
Yes, it is.
this is the last year we're doing
Praise the
for
Flying
now.
Spaghetti
for now,
Monster.
For now.
Yay, Cthulhu.
Yeah.
Yay!
Yes,
Thanks,
next week we're going to
Cthulhu.
do a wrap-up episode for the series. But what about 2024? We're going to do that at the end of the year.
Yeah, what about it?
So it's going to be an Albums of the Year
Yeah.
reunion episode.
We want to give 2024 enough time to get its shit properly together.
Yeah.
Yeah, give them time to put out an album you might like.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
That's not going to happen.
You have your work cut out for you, 2024. All right.
Get on it.
Good luck with that and get on.
2024, if you haven't put out any albums I like this year so far, what are you
Hurry
waiting
up.
for?
Hurry
Get on
up.
it.
Get on it.
But Crystal starts this episode.
I do.
She has
I do.
Everybody ready for Crystal Durant's list?
Exactly. Okay. So I'm going to start off with questions. And for the uninitiated, this is my surprise at people who put out records in this year. Albums, okay? Iggy Pop. Every loser.
He
is what
regularly
it's
puts
called.
records out.
Yeah, I don't know. Metallica, Depeche Mode, Pet Shop Boys, Everything But the Girl, Jethro Tull, Glenn Matlock, Glenn Matlock.
They put out so long.
The Damned, Ricky Lee Jones, Smokey Robinson, and the album is called Gasms.
Yes.
Smashing Pumpkins, Belinda Carlisle, Def Leppard with the Royal Philharmonic, Paul Simon, Kesha Hot Dog Water, What's Her Face, Yes, Fishbone, Avenged Sevenfold, Kenny Rogers, Rufus Wainwright, Tanya Tucker, The Dead Milkmen, Matchbox 20, TWENTY, Fall Out Boy, Deerhoof, Neil Young and Crazy Horse, Belle and Sebastian.
Neil Young puts out an album every 6 months.
I know it doesn't matter. Cro-Magnons, Uriah Heep.
Uriah Heep.
Korn, The Brian Jonestown Massacre, Yola Tango, Shonen Knife, Skrillex. Where'd he come from? Godsmack, Gorillaz, Macklemore, Willie Nelson, U2, and the last band I'm going to mention is called Pigs, 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 and the album is called Land of Sleeper. Okay.
You didn't know they put out an album
You
this year.
didn't know that, did you?
Because you had never heard of them, but
Yeah, well, I'm still questioning it because what the hell? How do you get a record deal with a name like that?
Well,
Because nothing makes sense anymore and the world is unjust.
All right, it's 2023 and you probably don't need a record deal. All right, so I have 4 people on my list.
4.
4, that's the best I could do. And coming in at number 4, I have The Age of Pleasure by Janelle Monáe. So this is 5 years after Dirty Computer, and she's turned into a sexy, freaky, Afrobeaty, reggae-steeped, popped party girl. She came out as being queer, not specifically non-binary, but queer, and she goes by they. So in an interview she gave, she explained that the songs were written from such an honest space, and they hope that listeners feel that when they listen to the music, as they feel they have had an opportunity to evolve and grow and tap into the things that bring them pleasure. So this is a party album, and the reason why is because she wanted to keep it light and, upbeat, and after she recorded all the songs, parties with her friends, she played this album to see how they responded to each individual song, and if there weren't people dancing, she cut it. If people danced, she left it. It's very interesting. She did the Met Gala after party last year, and if the songs don't work at the party, they're not going on the album. So she is very Pan-African with this thing, specifically. So if you don't like Pan-African music, if you're not a big fan of reggae, if you don't like Soweto or any of that stuff, then stay away from this. But if you like it, it's good. It's like big African diaspora kind of deal. Coming in at number 3, I have 12 by Ryuichi Sakamoto. So this was his 15th album, and it was released 2 months after he died. It is very understated. It's I don't know, like the best word.
It's just him at piano, right?
Yeah, it's minimalist. It's electronic.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah. It's you can hear him breathing in the microphones, kinda. And I don't know if it was like a precursor to him knowing that he was dying. I don't remember what he died from, but it's the energy is kind of ghostly a little bit, sorta. But it's really good. Very sparse piano pieces, electronic stuff, soundscapes. Yeah, and all of the songs have numbers, but not like 1, 2, 3, 4, like 202202007.
OU812 90210.
Yeah, but they're all like that. These
Yeah.
weird binary numbers. So if you're
90125. Yeah.
5150.
Yep. 5150. Yep.
21,
112.
12.
Yeah.
12, yeah.
21, 21, yeah, all that. 25, 25.
Oh, 3121.
31, 21, yeah.
1999.
1999, all of the numbers.
Yes, that's a greatest hits album right there.
You know?
It really is.
It is a great.
That's a great record.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is good. I want that compilation.
Especially the 2025 part, yeah.
Yeah.
No,
That's the
not
best.
that
That's the best
one.
track on the album.
No, that's... Moving on.
I like
Go
that.
back to our 1969 singles video to find out what
get
that
on
means.
that, yeah. Coming in at number 2, I have Alive at the Village Vanguard by Fred Hirsch and Esperanza Spalding. He is a piano player. She's a singer who plays bass. This is very quirky. There are no major arrangements, and they're all standards, jazz standards, like But Not For Me, Thelonious Monk's Evidence, Charlie Parker's Little Suede Shoes. It's good stuff. It's not quite... what's that stupid coffee place?
Starbucks.
It's not quite Starbucks, but it's...
But that was the correct thing to say. What's that coffee place?
that stupid coffee place, yeah.
Yeah.
It's Starbucks adjacent. It's not as benign as
So
something
it's
you hear in
like
Starbucks.
post-Starbucks core.
Kinda,
Gotcha.
yeah. It's better than that, but it's that vibe. So if you don't like that vibe, then don't listen to it. And then coming in at number 1, I have The Girl Is Crying in Her Latte by Sparks.
Speaking of Starbucks.
So this is their 25th album, and they are still very glamorous, very kooky, glamorous but not glam, vintage but not new. They went back to Island Records
Oh.
for the first time since 1974, and 1976 Kimono My House. It's Sparks.
74.
If you don't... Oh, sorry. Say it out loud.
74.
74, thank you. It's Sparks. If you like Sparks, you're going to like it. If you don't like Sparks, you're not going to like it. I love it. I love Sparks. They had a great tour last year. They're fucking fantastic. These guys are in their 70s, and they still got it. So I like that. And that particular single, The Girl Is Crying in Her Latte, it stars...
Oh, in the video.
yeah, the video is... who is that? Kate...
It's Kate...
Blanchett.
Kate Blanchett, yeah.
Kate Blanchett, like dancing around in a suit with these headphones on. And it's very quirky. It's very Sparks. So I like it. That's my list.
All right.
So saith Crystal, so let it be known.
So let it be
Girl Is Crying
written. So let it be done.
Yes.
All right. Well, commercial time. Ooh.
Good night! Big corporate types. Will you stop calling each other rock stars?
You're a rock star. You are a rock star.
Rock stars, please.
You know what it takes to be a rock star?
I've trashed hotel rooms in 43 countries.
I was on the road since I was 16.
I've done my share of bad things. Also, your share of bad things.
We know that using Workday for finance and HR makes you great at your job.
That don't make you a rock star.
Oh, Ted in finance, you're a rock star.
Hey, Liz in HR, can you do this?
Unless you work with an actual rock star.
You are a rock star.
Thank you.
Who's the new guy?
Hi, I'm Oswald.
Hello, Oswald.
Give it up for Pam. Pam, you are a rock star. wasn't gonna say it.
All right.
Oh, we're back.
We are back.
shit.
We are back.
How'd we get here?
Well, I don't know. We'll find out.
Looks like
we're gonna
we're
find
brighter
out.
than- we're
Because,
brighter
well,
than
it's time
ever.
for my list.
Somehow Paul is going to have 10,
list.
10
An actual
albums
list.
for 2023.
A list.
7 runners-up somehow.
Well, you know how many I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 honorable mentions.
See, this motherfucker's got access to an alternate timeline. That's what's going on here.
Basically.
No. What I have
there a
actually, no,
portal
it's a
in
very
the ceiling?
specific thing that I have.
What is going on?
I have something. It's called
Lowered
different
standards.
taste.
Lowered
different
standards.
Taste.
Got you. Lowered standard.
Different taste.
Standard, different taste.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
It's Paul Core.
Honorable mentions: Elise Levy, A Little Longer. You know who she is. Rolling Stones, Hackney Diamonds. Not great, but I that was originally one of the first things I put in the list, thinking that I was going to have to resort to it. It just kind of sat there on the list, and I didn't erase it. It's not that good. Gaz Coombs, Turn the Car Around. Gaz Coombs from Supergrass. Not one of his best solo albums. Radically different from Supergrass, but worthy being on the list. Mickey Dolenz with Dolenz Sings REM.
What?
Yeah, we had Dolenz Sings Nesmith. Well, now he has an EP called Dolenz Sings REM.
What?
Shiny Happy People, Radio Free Europe. What are the other two? Man on the Moon, which I fucking hate that song. And a more obscure song from the shittiest album called Leaving New York. But
What?
Christian Nesmith produced it and arranged it, and it's just, it's pretty good.
What?
Yeah. Like, his version of Shiny Happy People, I hate REM's version. Mickey
Wow.
Dolenz version is pretty good.
Really?
Yeah. Like, they kind of turned it into kind of like this, well, I mean, REM's version is a light pop kind of thing, too, but, like, Mickey's is good.
Wait, does
Bouncy
he
pop.
have does he have Kate Pearson on it?
No,
Or
it's
it's
just
just him?
Mickey singing with
Mickey.
this kind of,
Wow.
you know, 60s pop adjacent kind of arrangement underneath it, you know?
Really? All right.
Yeah, anyway, so, what else do we have? Iggy Pop, Every Loser. The Clientele, I Am Not There Anymore. Trey Burt with Traffic Fiction. Wild Nothing with Hold. And The Zombies with Different Game. Originally on my list, but when I went back and re-listened to things, I was a little higher on that record when it was new, and now it's merely an honorable mention.
Wow. All right. So what's on your 10 album list?
My 10 album list. And coming in number 10, Loewe with Bewitched. Loewe, 25-year-old Icelandic artist. This album is mostly 50s style torch songs, very Julie London sounding stuff. Other than a cover of Misty, it's totally made up of original material. It's really great. You will like it.
Oive?
Loewe.
Oh, Loewe.
It's L-A-U-F-E-Y,
Oh,
but the
Icelandic.
pronunciation is Loewe.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Coming in number 9, Jonathan Redo. An album called For Who the Bell Tolls For. Now, sorry, hair and mouth, sorry people. This is a solo album by Jonathan Redo of Foxygen. He's currently a hot producer who's worked with Wise Blood, the Lemon Twigs, the Killers, and all that kind of stuff, but he has great songs. And it kind of reminds me a bit of Daniel Romano, somebody I've been talking about on a lot of recent episodes, and yeah, it's a good record. I only just discovered this one last night. Okay, coming in number 8, Noel Gallagher's High Flying Birds with Council Skies.
What?
Noel Gallagher.
What?
I don't like Oasis
Yeah.
at all. But I some of these Noel Gallagher records I do like. Well, one of my biggest things that I don't like about, well, there's a whole list of things I don't like about Oasis, but one of the things that most bugs me is I can't stand Liam as a singer. He's whiny and he's annoying and he's an asshole. I mean, Noel Gallagher's an asshole too, but I like his voice way more. Like, if he was just the singer of Oasis, I might kind of like him. Well, they would have to have better songs too, but that's a whole other issue. But yeah, this is the 4th album, and it's the first since 2017. The title of this comes from a 2019 book of the artist Pete McKee's work.
Oh.
Yeah, there's a book called Council Skies, and I guess he had that on his coffee table and went, boom, that's the title. And he actually called
him up and
asked permission instead of saying, sold him, I'll do what the fuck I want. No, he called and asked.
Shocking.
Yeah. So, number 7, Blur. That's right, Blur, above Noel Gallagher.
We're back in Paul
With the
Core
Ballad
Mansion.
of Darren.
Back in Paul Core Mansion.
Yeah. Well, I'm not the biggest Blur guy. I like going through these records for these lists. I found that I liked a lot of them, but I'm historically not really much of a Blur guy.
Blur.
But this is their first album since 2015. They had what made me really go check this album out is that the track that came out ahead of the album is called The Narcissist. Great track. And that got me into the record. But, yeah. Number 6. The Uni Boys. I talked about them recently. This is their latest album, Buy This Now. And this is the follow-up to their 2022 album, Do It All Next Week. And just like that album, this is full of catchy, punky, late 70s style power pop gems. Number 5, The Lemon Twigs with Everything Harmony. Yeah, this is radically different from any of their albums before. I mean, all their stuff is throwback, kind of, classic rock and pop vibes, but this is... The earlier album's a little bit more quirky, and this is just more like of a mostly mellow early 70s singer-songwriter type stuff. But, here and there the tempo picks up. There's a song called What You Were Doing that kind of sounds like it would be on the first Big Star LP. Every Day is the Worst Day of My Life reminds me a bit of the early 70s Bee Gees. You know how a lot of the early 70s Bee Gees was all kind of like mellow, and that almost could be like one of the...
song title is...
Can you not hear Robin Gibb singing a song with that title?
Yes, I can.
That's totally what that track
and
reminds
the
me of.
chorus, it would be gorgeous.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. But overall, the record sounds like one of those obscure albums from, say, 1972 that still sounds rooted somewhat in the late 60s. Because you know how those really obscure albums that you find from that time, those artists are a little behind the times. Mm-hmm. It kind of sounds like that, like the 70s and the 60s at the same time. I don't know. Anyway, number 4. An album that was fighting to go to number 1, but it only got to number 4. Jalen Nganda, with an album called Come Around and Love Me. Woo, man. American classic soul artist from Washington, D.C., who's now living in Liverpool. Early 70s Marvin Gaye and Stevie Wonder vibes to the bone, but with a very high voice that almost sounds falsetto, but it's really not. It basically sounds like if Russell Tompkins Jr. from Stylistics was singing lead on a Marvin Gaye album.
What?
It's fucking good.
How did you find this guy?
It just, the internet just flashes stuff in your face and you go, oh, what's that?
Algorithms in your favor?
Yeah,
Yeah. Wow.
In fact, maybe why don't we do our thing where I play a track?
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, his voice is very stylistics-y kind of sounding.
Damn.
But yeah, that's a really good record. That's like if you like those 2 songs, you're good. That whole album is that good.
Is he American?
He's from Washington,
D.C. That's
D.C.
an African name, Naganda.
Yeah. Anyway, so number 3,
Wow.
Myrna, Meernaa, with an album called So Far So Good. Late 70s influences abounding. Warm bath, mellow gold vibes. I do wish her voice was a bit more audible in the mix, because she kind of does that thing that a lot of modern female artists do, where she sings really kind of low, and she's not as bad as Billie Eilish, but she just doesn't cut through in the mix because of the way she sings. But overall, I love the sound of the record. The songs are filled with satisfying chord changes, and yeah. Number 2, Thomas Walsh with The Rest Is History. Now, this is for all intents and purposes the latest Pugwash album, because Thomas Walsh is Pugwash. Basically he is Pugwash, but he finally has decided to shed that moniker and release this latest album under his own name. And in fact, I think this album is probably a little bit better than the last one he actually released as Pugwash. Yeah, really strong new stuff. But my number 1, I originally started making this list for this year last year, at the end of 2023, expecting that I would do on my own, because I had done in 2022 an end of the year favorites album things, or list, right? Or video, sorry. And So I started making the list, and then it kind of dawned on me, oh yeah, we're doing the Albums of the Year series. Maybe I should save it for the series. It would be kind of stupid for me to do it on my own.
Oh, okay, yeah.
When I know Tommy's chomping at the bit to talk about his favorite albums of 2023, because he has, right? I don't want to, leave the poor fucking guy out.
Drive me with that.
I don't want to bleep him out. So, but in my quest to find more albums to put on the list, I was watching everybody else's albums of the year videos that they do, because everybody, even if they don't do this kind of a series, usually at the end of the year they'll be like, these are my favorite albums of the year, and I'll go through, and if something sounds interesting, I'll listen to it, and maybe it'll make the list. Well, Robert Fithen, shout out to Robert Fithen, he made a video. And there was one album he talked about, and I went, huh. I mean, I checked out a few things he talked about, but there's one in particular I was like, I'm going to check that one out. And I listened, and I, boom, put it right at my number one. And I commented on his video and said, you hipped me in my number one. One of your albums on your video, I put it number one. He goes, which one? I never answered him, because I'm like, well, he's going to have to wait and watch the video. But I didn't make the video. So only just now, Robert, are you going to get the answer to your question, because it is still my number one, and that is Paramore with This Is Why.
Paramore?
Okay, now Paramore has been around for like 20 years.
Yeah. And
this is like their 6th album. I've been aware of them forever, but I haven't listened to them. But the way he described this album, I thought, this sounds good. And I listened to it, boom, straight to number one.
Wow.
Their first album came out in 2005. Yeah, whatever. Okay, so I got this from Robert Video. I'm looking at my notes. I probably already said all this stuff. Great, very good modern pop rock with strong songwriting and great lyrics. And when I listened to it, I liked it so much that when I went back to listen to earlier stuff, and I'm like, no, I like this album. I'm not into Paramore, I just like this album. They've kind of matured a lot. Their earlier stuff is a bit more, sounds like a teenage girl who really, really likes Gwen Stefani. Kind of vibes. She doesn't sound as much like that on this, and like the songwriting is a lot more sophisticated on this, and it's just a really great record. And Paramore, This Is Why. That is the album.
All right.
I am shocked.
You are shocked. Are you stunned?
I am stunned.
I'm stunned and shocked.
Are you shooketh?
I'm shooketh.
You shooketh me. You shooketh me all along. So there you go. All right.
You shooketh me.
Wow. I think we got it.
Today, let's thank Canada. Thank you for legends of music and heroes of comedy. Thank you for this heartthrob. Thank you, Canada, for peanut butter, the paint roller, and poutine. That's French fries with cheese and gravy. It's good. Thank you for creating the replay, the walkie, and the battery. The egg carton, the ironing board, the electric wheelchair, Hawaiian pizza, instant potatoes, canola oil, trash bags, and thank you for this. Thank you for giving us hockey, basketball, and thank you for football.
What? No way.
Yeah, look it up. Thank you, Canada. Thank you.
Well, all right.
Yeah, you took me.
All night long. All right, Tommy.
It's turn.
Oh, it's my turn. It's my turn. Okay, so I have a new category I'm introducing, and it's called WTF with 3 question marks after
Wow.
it. Yes.
Make sure you put a graphic right across his face.
Directly.
WTF with 3 questions.
Boom.
Boom, right there. Wow.
So it's an album called On Top of the Covers by T-Pain.
Well, I mean, you have to explain this any further.
Well,
but feel free to.
No, I do. I do need to explain this further. Did you guys realize he actually can sing?
Yes.
Oh, I do know what you're
I've talked
talking about.
about this
I
already.
know what you're talking about. Yes.
Holy shit!
I talked about this when I saw him on The Masked Singer. Nobody knew it was him because
Yeah.
nobody knew he could really sing. He can sing his fucking ass off.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
Now, I don't love all of the song selections that he did. Like, a couple of them are like, wow, that's fucking amazing. I'm so glad you did that. And some of them are like, I could care less. Why'd you do that? But, like, what the fuck has this dude been doing for 20 years?
I'm telling you, you have to watch that documentary about pop music because there's a whole episode on him and auto-tune, and it is fucking fantastic. He did not feel confident with his singing and heard auto-tune on something like right after it was just created. They interviewed the guy who created auto-tune and why he did what he did and the whole fallout and everything. It's amazing. You gotta watch that episode. But yeah, that motherfucker can sing his ass off. He was like, yeah, that show is, a lot of people just dismiss it, but it's a really great show because there are people on there, like, you can tell Patti LaBelle, you know Gladys Knight's voice, like, come on. But he had everybody stumped. Nobody knew it was
Nobody
him.
would have guessed it. This album opens with, I think it opens with The Change Is Gonna Come.
Mm-hmm. Bananas.
Dude, you gotta hear this shit.
Yeah.
Well, all I gotta say is now he has a way forward as he gets older.
Yeah, now some of the shit on this record you're not gonna like, and like I was saying, some of the things on here, it's like, why would you do that? Some of it's like doing like a really modern production approach to some songs. It's like that does not work. But like just on some of the stuff where he's really just digging in and singing soulfully, I'm like,
incredible,
dude.
Yeah.
Anyway, and then I saw the live footage of him singing War Pigs live, no studio trickery.
Bananas.
Live.
I talked about that before
like,
too. You gotta watch that.
Come on.
Incredible.
So moving on to my actual list, I actually have a top 6 for 2023.
Oh wow!
Oh,
yes, I do.
Okay.
I do.
6.
So if I look like I'm overseeing things, technical things. So
yes.
So if I look distracted,
my number 6 is okay. My number 6, it was a welcome, almost not quite return to form by a singer who spent the last 20 years putting out yoga albums or whatever the hell it is she's releasing.
Yoga.
Belinda Carlisle put out an EP called Kismet, which is not bad. It's not what I want from her, but it's not bad, and it's at least her doing normal music again.
well, what is the style of this?
It's just like modern pop kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's been talking about maybe doing a full album of like a return
I
to
heard
pop
she was
music.
doing one, but it hasn't
I
popped
don't know
up yet.
if it's come out yet or if she's done with it yet. My number five is an album I had been kind of dismissing for a while now. I re-listened to it again this week. It's not that bad. It's just not as good as the other albums by this group, and that is Pretty Vicious by the Struts. Not bad.
Their most recent album?
Yeah. My number 4, Air Raid is back. We've got some Tommy Core.
Man, Air Raid is as prolific as Sloan, aren't they?
Air Raid is back with Fatal Encounter. Yep. But beating them out at number 3, Udo.
Oh,
Udo with Touchdown, which is probably the finest Accept album that's come out in years. It's better than any of the actual recent Accept albums. It does suffer from the fact that they have his voice too dry. We've talked about that dry voice again, which is annoying because I'm listening to it. It's like, he's hitting all the fucking same notes as Udo did in the 80s. Like, all of it. He sounds just like he did in the 80s, but his voice is just too dry. And it's like, that makes you sound older. Stop doing that.
Yeah.
But the record's actually, it's really freaking solid. My number 2, this one came out of absolute nowhere. I was not expecting something like this to happen. It is an album called Punk Tactics by a duo called Joey Valance and Bray. They are 2 white dudes, college age. They are a hip-hop group that sound like the Beastie Boys. Like, exactly like the goddamn Beastie Boys. And it's dope. It is so awesome.
What are they called?
Joey Valance and Bray. They now have 2 albums out. This was the first one, and the second one just came out this year, and I'll be talking about it when we do the 2024 year.
So they play instruments like the Beastie Boys do. It isn't all just samples.
I believe they also play instrumentation on their stuff too. Yeah. The one of the 2 is the one writing and producing literally everything. They're just like their own one-stop in-house shop. But like vocally, like they're just nailing it. They're nailing it. They don't sound like clones of any of the Beastie Boys, but when you hear the tracks, it's like, oh my god,
That's the vibe.
It takes you to that place.
yeah. And they're not doing that obnoxious Greta Van Fleet thing where they're like, people are like, you guys sound exactly like Led Zeppelin. Oh, they're not really a big influence on us. Like these guys are like, we love the Beastie Boys. They're our biggest influence.
That's
we like a
what we're
lot
doing.
of other '90s hip hop too, but
Yeah.
we really love the Beastie Boys. Now here's our shit.
It's a lot easier to swallow if people just come clean. You
Oh,
know?
they're coming right out and saying it.
Yeah.
We love this music. We want to do this music,
Yeah.
and they're killing it. And it's like from the first track, you're like, oh, it's
How
like
did
the
you find
Beasties
them?
are back. Melissa found this because, of course, she did. Because she hasn't tuned out the entire world like I have for the past couple decades.
Make the world
Yeah, my
go
wife, Melissa.
away.
Yeah. And my number one, Chapel Roan with The Rise and Fall of a Midwest Princess. God damn, this record is awesome.
Boy, do I not know that.
You guys not hit the Chapel Roan
I
yet?
keep hearing about this girl, and I've seen videos of her live with these kooky costumes and everything, but
Oh,
everybody
yeah.
loves her. And
Oh, she dresses like a drag queen, majorette, and
yeah,
everything.
like all
yeah,
that crazy shit. And I mean, you know, her voice was good. Like it's not for me. I'm an old lady. It's not for me. It's fine.
love it.
It's good, but it just doesn't work for me.
It is so good. It is
It's
so
okay.
catchy. She's a genuine, legit talent. She's been at this shit for years.
But she's really young, right?
Yeah, she's in her early 20s.
20s,
But she
yeah.
started in high school.
Okay.
And then she managed to get herself out to LA and put out an EP that she didn't like. She had a record deal. She lost the record deal. She had to move back to like Missouri, save up more money to go back out to LA again, and just keep fucking trying, keep writing songs. You know, label drops her, try to find a new label, try to find anyone to pay attention to her. And now she is fucking exploding. Like she's gotten so
She's huge.
famous so fast, she doesn't even know how to handle it yet.
Because she pulled
Yeah.
back. She was
pulled
like,
back.
this is too much for
She's
me.
like, people are like
Fucking-
stalking my family.
That's
Please
it.
stop.
Yeah, they were
Wow.
stalking her. Yeah.
She blew up so fast that she was booked to play, I think it was Bonnaroo.
Yeah.
And she was booked to play some rinky-dink side stage. And like right before, Bonnaroo was
Main
like,
stage,
we've seen your
Bonnaroo.
streaming numbers. You're on the main stage now.
yeah.
And she's like, okay.
The kids love her.
Yeah. She's fantastic, and the album is really, really good, and a lot of really, really catchy bangers on it. And
Just
I love
imagine when she comes out and she's on Ed Sullivan. Shit is gonna fucking.
I mean, crazy. When she's on Lawrence Welk, fuck, her career is made.
Oh, stop the both of yous.
All right. Well, all right.
That's good. Now I'm gonna have to listen to the record now. Okay.
So now we're gonna take you on a nostalgic trip.
to last year.
2023 commercials.
2 times miles on every purchase.
The noise canceling. You're being too loud. Thank you. Good choice. Ooh, my lucky number.
Earn 5 times miles on flights.
Stay.
Going up?
And 10 times miles on hotels through Capital One Travel. Plus, get access to over 1,300 airport lounges.
White wine, please.
And maybe see the one and only Taylor Swift. Capital One.
All right. So I guess it's time for our hate list, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Oh, shit.
Our Van
It
hate
is.
lists.
Yeah, it is. All right.
Is it me?
I think it's yes.
It's you.
It is I? Okay. So I only had, there's a whole lot of really bad stuff from last year.
I'm shocked.
But I only picked one because where I was living in Harlem at the time, it was when her first album, EP, whatever the fuck it was, came out. And the graphic for it was this weird cartoon of some semi-space age looking either white or light-skinned black girl or some mulatto of some sort with this weird orangey afro, but it was like bent over with her hands, like her finger in her whatever. It was this weird cartoon, and I was like, Ice Spice.
Oh, God, I knew it was going to be Ice Spice.
What the fuck is an Ice Spice?
Oh, she's terrible.
So
Thankfully, I don't know this.
Yeah,
Oh,
you're
she's
so happy.
bad.
So the album is called Like ... It's an EP, and it mainly consists of clipped guitar licks looped ad nauseum until a smattering of hi-hats and booming bass takes over, and distorted vocal samples. Now, I complained about her at some point when she was on Saturday Night Live last year, and it was one of the worst performances I've ever seen of my life, because she is like, yeah, so I took him downtown. And she was like the Perry Como of rap. Now, if you're old enough, because if you're old enough to remember Second City TV, and when they made fun of Perry Como on Second City TV, he was actually lying on stage with a microphone like, and I love you, blah, 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 blah. Like, she's the rap equivalent of that.
It is the laziest
Lazy.
bullshit. Her shit sounds like if Instagram and TikTok got together and put out a fucking hip-hop record.
Worse than that. It's so bad. So, Princess Diana, she addresses her rise to fame. It was her first EP. I don't know what that fuck is. Gangsta Boo puts a drill, and then it's drill music. She fucked with Diddy's I Need a Girl. Actin' a Smoothie, or Smoochie rather, is Jersey Club rendition of Tierra Whack's Cutting Onions. Now, Tierra Whack is really good. You need to check her out, but this is
She's
terrible.
not whack.
This chick is not whack, yeah. Deli, it's a bunch of one-liners, how high, synth pop. Metacritic, do you know about Metacritic?
I know about it.
Is it people who write there? Like human beings?
It's probably bots at this point. It's all bots.
It's bots, yeah.
No, I'm dead serious, because the name is Metacritic. Anytime I read something from Metacritic, there's never a name after
Metacritic.
it.
Maybe it's critics criticizing themselves. Get it? Metacritic. Sorry.
Yeah, so it says Metacritic and All Music. Another...
It's more bots.
Right.
More bots.
So it's like TiVo staff was the writer of this article. TIVO, like the television thing, staff. So I don't know if this is real or not. I don't know if it's a person or a robot. And then Brooklyn Vegan.
Oh, well, Brooklyn Vegan.
They all loved it. Like, oh, this is the best thing ever. It's so great, blah, blah, blah. It sucks so bad. So bad that it overshadows everything else from the year for me. Because...
The Ice Spice record?
The Ice Spice record. Because it's her and Sexy Red and all these low-rent, ratchet-ass motherfucking black girls that just are terrible and embarrassing and insulting and everything else to the rap genre. I hate it. I hate it. And she is one of the worst offenders because she's so fucking popular. I just don't understand. Like, songs about... It's so terrible, and it's just terrible. It's sad.
Yep.
It's sad. Yeah. Well,
I'm going to stay away at all costs.
Dude, I'll tell you what. Crystal is being reserved in her criticism of it. It is almost rage-inducing how fucking terrible it is.
How awful it is.
And people actually saying, yes, I co-sign this.
Love
this is
it.
great. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
And the only thing I can think of is that they're all definitely under 30 years old.
Well,
and don't know anything about music. About old school hip hop, whatever. And this is what they've come up with, and this is what they like. And it's just, it breaks my heart. It truly breaks my heart as, you know, a person who grew up with a lot of good music. It's just so sad.
To hear that horse shit being passed off as hip hop.
Yeah.
I mean, it's honestly, it's one of the reasons why I fucking lost my mind over this Joey Valence and Bray record. I'm like, yes! The other day, I was walking past the park next to our building, and somebody was just falling asleep at a bench, and they had a jam box going, and it was just cranked beyond belief, and they were blasting The Show. Dougie Fresh and Slick Rick.
Okay.
And like the streets were just shaking and reverberating with this. And I'm like, how did we go from that
to this?
So the shit I hear on the subway at this point.
It's awful.
Well,
all the low rent fucking fourth generation trap beats and all this horse shit. The Ice Spice is out there.
Ice Spice,
how did
baby.
we get there?
Yeah.
From
it's
that.
A sad degenerative thing. I don't know.
Well, look at it this way.
Out.
Look at it this way. It's not anywhere near as bad as what's going to come next. Or after that. Or after that. So,
thanks.
So, you know, revel in the greatness that is now, because there is far worse to come. Yeah. It doesn't get better, people. It's just, you know.
Thanks,
eventually, people who like this shit are going to be going, what the fuck happened? Like, this shit is stupid. Like, the classic shit we listen
Ice
to.
Spice is great.
Like, that's going to happen.
This is why I'm glad
I know it's going to happen.
That's going to fucking
I know it's
happen.
going to happen because there is currently a huge resurgence in new metal. There's like new bands doing new metal now. Not just the old bands touring again. There's new bands recreating that sound. So I know everything is a circle.
Yeah.
Make metal great again.
Paul, you just won comment of the day, bro. I love it.
All right, and with that, I give you my worst of the year list. Oh man. Boy, this was a good year for. Well, you basically already said this, but this is a solid year for shit records. I mean, most of the last 20 to 30 years, there's a glut of them, but like this is filled with albums that are worth putting on my list that actually stand out as like holy fuck. First thing I have is actually a single. Tommy actually mentioned this in passing on a previous video, but it's been on my list for quite a while. Fall Out Boy with their cover of We Didn't Start the Fire. Jesus.
Yeah.
Tommy mentioned it on our Billy Joel album ranking, and
Shameful.
Oh man.
Shameful.
Terrible.
Makes me long for the Billy Joel version, but honestly, it does.
I mean, it's horrible. It's horrible.
But anyway, and as Crystal mentioned, Smokey Robinson has an album called Gasms.
Gasms.
What are you doing?
Called Gasms. Okay, now this record is kind of a little bit. This one's a little weird because, other than the obvious, I mean, because the lyrics are really awful and cringe-inducing because the guy's 84 and he's talking about. There's a song in here called "I Fit in There."
Yeah, but you know why he's done this is because women my age and older are all about it. So all you gotta do is look him up on YouTube and watch these videos in concert, and women are throwing panties at him, thongs, it doesn't matter, because he still looks good. He's been well preserved.
Well, he's money. But that's the thing.
Yeah, he shouldn't be doing that.
Lyrical content of this record is really cringe-inducing, but the record sounds great.
It sounds.
His voice sounds phenomenal.
Fantastic.
Really?
He sounds incredible on
and
it.
not a lot of hocus pocus.
He sounds naturally good.
Naturally good.
The record sounds great, produced really well. It's just what he's saying. You're like, oh no.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. I mean, you don't have to stop fucking Smokey Robinson, but just don't tell us about it. But I'm going to read you some lyrics from I Fit in There. Let me in your life. Make some room for me. If deep down inside you're hoping to fill up an opening, I fit in there. If empty fills up your private place and nothing and no one can penetrate, if you got an inner vacancy, baby, then make it a place for me. I fit in there. Oh, baby, now I'm watching and waiting and anticipating, and first opening, I'm gonna strike. If you don't want to be in love, can we be in heavy like? So yeah, the lyrics of the record are abominable, but everything else about it is actually pretty damn good.
It's very tongue-in-cheek and cleverly written. And
Krista, do you get all of that? Do you get all the double entendre?
But on top of that, the song prior to I Fit in There is a song called You Fill Me Up. So evidently he's verse. I don't know.
Oh, good for him.
I don't know. We didn't know this about
man.
Smokey.
Try new things.
Yeah. Okay, but anyway. So up next, Mike Love, Not War.
Oh no.
Yes, Mike Love has an album called Mike Love, Not War.
Oh no.
And the title alone tells you what it sounds like. We'll move on.
No.
Dolly Parton with Rockstar.
Yeah.
Oh, let's not do this to Dolly.
I love Dolly. Love Dolly.
Let's not dump on Dolly.
I love Dolly.
Dolly is a national treasure.
But we all know why she did it.
Because the Rock and Roll Hall of
Just
Fame.
because,
did it out of guilt.
yeah, that's the whole Rock and Roll Hall of Fame thing. Even she said, "I don't belong
here.
in."
Please don't vote for me for this.
But
she did this out of guilt.
She maybe, but you know,
that's what she says. She goes, "I felt bad that they did this, so I wanted to give something that would make my thing in there, like you know." Like,
but making one shitty rock album does not make you eligible for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
No, but I mean, you know, I'm not saying it was a great effort.
It's absolutely terrible. It's just awful.
The biggest problem I have with this record is that there is a very regrettable duet on there with Kid Rock.
Yes.
There's a lot of regrettable stuff, but that probably is top of the list.
That's number one.
But the worst of the year, and this is a runaway, this is even far worse than the Dolly Parton album. Roger Waters with Dark Side of the Moon Redux.
Yeah, I forgot about that. On
Holy mother of fuck.
You know,
I trust we've all listened to this.
I didn't mention it for a reason. Yeah.
Because it's even worse. Than...
I did not listen to this because it's my understanding it is a redo of Dark Side of the Moon, right?
It's Redux, yeah.
Right. So Dark Side of the Moon is, you know, some people tend to agree it's one of the greatest fucking recording achievements ever.
Lots of people listen to it once a week.
Why the fuck would you want to redo that?
Well, because Roger Waters is out of his fucking mind. And if you listen to his version, his new version of this, that will hit home. Like, you'll really be like, wow, this guy's completely lost his shit.
From start to finish, Dark Side, there is not one note you could improve.
And he does not. Let me tell you.
The only thing you can hope to do is not make it noticeably worse if you redo it.
He did that. He did that.
That's exactly what he did.
Yeah, the one thing one can do, he did it.
God, he made it work.
Damn it.
It is so...
Look at Crystal.
It's an entirely different thing.
Is it really
he
that
adds
bad?
all this spoken word shit, like basically On the Run. I was like, wow, what did he do with On the Run? It's him babbling in a voice like this over the whole thing. Just psycho shit. With sort of an approximation of On the Run underneath. There's a lot of him just talking over the stuff.
Not even singing.
No.
Not even singing. But you know, he does sing the songs, but in sections where there weren't vocals before, it's like he wants to add to the story.
Yeah.
And he just does this fucking shit that's just like, why are you doing this?
It's so bad.
It's bad. It isn't bad because it didn't need to be done. It's not bad because it's not as good as the original. It's bad. It's bad because it's bad. Yeah.
Terrible.
It's almost, you know, I might be crazy for saying this, but it's almost as though Roger actually really does kind of need David and Rick and Nick. And I don't know.
Maybe.
They need each other.
I don't know.
You know, that's the thing. When it comes to these bands and there's always this side and that side, it's both sides, man.
Yeah.
You know, it's both sides. There isn't like the good guy and the bad guy.
There ain't no good guys.
I mean,
no bad guys.
Have all the good guys gone.
Only you and me.
It's only you and me, and we just disagree. So yeah. Anyway, what do you hate, Tommy?
Oh fuck! All right. Well, there's no shortage of things to hate. You guys touched on some incredible stuff. The one I have is Oh, we thought that maybe we were done with this person. We thought that we'd heard the last of her a decade ago when people finally stopped sending each other the video for It's Friday, Friday, everybody's working for the weekend.
She's back?
Rebecca Black is back with Let Her
back
Burn.
and she's black.
I do not endorse this.
She puts out music that is called hyperpop. If you're not familiar with the genre of hyperpop,
what?
It is best described as unlistenable. So that's what she does now. She's clearly worked tirelessly on her actual singing ability. She does have a voice now. I just don't give the slightest fuck what she's doing with it, and the music is horrible.
Hyperpop.
Hyperpop. It's basically, okay, so I'm going to try to describe hyperpop. It's this really energetic kind of thing. Like if you had like a Japanese pop group or something like that, and they had like a really catchy, upbeat, catchy song, and then you put it in a goddamn blender, and then didn't care how it got all chopped up, but like there was some other shit that you threw in the blender with it that definitely didn't belong, but now it's mixed in there with it, and it's even faster. That's hyperpop.
Only worse.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's worse than that.
It's worse than that.
It's fucking terrible. Just absolutely terrible.
Wow, and that's your worst of the year?
Yep.
Wow, that's your worst of the year? You couldn't come up with anything worse than that?
I'm sorry.
No, we couldn't, because
the best I could do was a Rebecca Black hyperpop record. I'm sorry, I'm clearly not putting the work in.
Yeah, you're clearly not.
Wow, Tommy, that's so lazy.
Yeah, some lazy work there.
Totally in over here.
Yeah.
What are you doing, Von Voigt? Come on.
We worked on these. And you just fucking whatever.
Jeez, man.
This is half-assed McGee over here.
Half-assed McGee.
All right.
Wow.
Well, give us a break.
Ooh.
18, 19, 20, 20. I've got about 25 zippers on this thing. How many have you got?
All right. Here we go.
All right.
Okay, well, we're gonna get out. We're gonna get out, and this is the last of our official.
Yay!
But okay,
Done with it.
yeah. So
Shut the shit down.
So next week we're going to be doing a wrap up, which will be us taking all our number ones from the entire series and choosing our top 10.
Not 20. Ow!
Okay.
All right, good night, everybody.
Our top 10.
See, bye.
If you like what you saw here today, people, just hit that like and subscribe and give us a top 50 all ties and 100 runners up. And
Fuck you, Von Voigt.
Crystal Duress, everybody. Crystal Duress. Thank you very much. You've been a wonderful guest on our show today.
Oh wait, actually, can you send the bell back in? Because we're gonna need that for this next bit.
Yes.
Cause I'm back and I'm black.
Well, at least you're not Rebecca Black, so that is.
Oh, thank you.
That is a boon to
When
the
are you
whole
gonna put out your
situation.
hyper pop record, Crystal?
Oh my God. Let me work.
But
on
yeah,
that
but
tonight.
seriously, we're gonna be doing the albums of the year wrap up where we rank our top 10 of our number ones, which doesn't mean it's our favorite albums. It's just our favorite of the number ones.
Yeah.
We'll probably go further into how that works later, and our least favorites. We're gonna do our tops of all of our least favorites.
Yeah.
Which was far more difficult to do than the tops, I have to say.
Yes, it was.
It is far more difficult.
Was.
And and that will be the end of the Albums of the Year series, but then we'll come back at the end of the year with the 2024. And
Yeah.
So, but next week. But next week we're going to do the albums. See, basically we've been doing albums of the year every other episode recently. Well, next week we're going to do the wrap up because we don't need to do something else in between. We're going to go right into the wrap up, and there we go.
And now we already know what's going to be following that, but you have
don't
to
know
wait
yet.
to
You
find
gotta wait.
out. It's a surprise, and you're gonna like it.
You're gonna love it.
Trust me, you're gonna love our show.
You're gonna love it. That's great. You're gonna love it. Love it.
Oh yeah. Thank you for subscribing, and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And if you do subscribe, click the little bell. Notifications. And come back next week for Albums of the Year wrap up. All right, we will see you then. All right.
Yeah.
Wait, no, that isn't what we're doing. I'm sorry, we're not coming back from a commercial. Are we?
No, we're not.
All right, we're not back.
We're not. We've been here for years.
Yeah.
Oh.
That never gets old.
No, it really doesn't. Nor should it.
Nor should
it.
it.
Shan't.
It shan't. It shan't be. All right. 3, 2, 1.
All right.